Hello and good evening. Welcome to one of the last matches of the night in the Link to the Past Randomizer Fall Tournament 2019. Tonight we've got a Game 3 of the Best of 3 series between Frostbite3030 and BrewersFanJP. Man, this is going to be a good one. Tonight I'm joined in the booth with WolfLink0370. WolfLink, how are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, Lumaga. And as you can see, folks, we're starting with the sword tonight. That is one of the settings we have changed here for this Game 3. The other setting is that we are going to start with a standard seat. We have to do the escape sequence. And there will be a winner tonight. This is Game 3 here in, what was it, Group G?
Group G. Yeah, Game 3. Both of these races have been just absolutely spectacular between these two. I don't imagine this one going any differently than the last two.
Indeed. I didn't do too much research on this. I don't know who won Game 1 and who won Game 2, but it doesn't matter. We're getting Game 3 out of these two, and I'm going to be excited to see how it plays out.
Well, we've had a crazy first week of this tournament. Started on Sunday, and then just every day there's been something that's just amazed me and amazed the community. So I also can't wait to see what happens here.
And we are now off.
Uncle giving some unfortunate news to our runners.
I did not know you could pause during the intro cutscene. As we start with a piece of heart.
Yeah, now having to start off in standard mode, right? They're going to have to go through escape. It really takes out some variants of when do you route an escape, because you're forced to do it at first. So a bit of an equalizer up front.
Yeah, and having a sword as well will at least make any sort of combat decisions a little easier as we start with a bottle.
Ooh, bottle, that'll be nice.
Yeah, that'll make Sick Kid a little bit more, or Kakarot a little bit more clean.
A bit of money here.
Now, there is one thing we should mention, is that there is a change in version 31 regarding the prize packs. It's no longer shuffled amongst all the enemy group types. It's just that the pack groups themselves are shuffled between the enemies that can carry them. So the guards may not have any of the bomb dropping set.
Yeah, as we see some of these guards up front having a rupee, so that is an indication to the runners what their prize pack is going to be. They are going to probably look for a bomb. Not going to find one off of these guards, but they are going to try and look for a bomb, maybe off the ropes later on. There's a mirror up in our first chest in escape.
That'll make things quite quick here.
Yeah.
I think actually the ropes are shared the same prize pack as the green guards. Not sure about the blue ones, but the rats will definitely be in a different prize pool. Because they are normally in the money prize pool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not up to date on all my prize packs. But that mirror, that is a great find because they can just mirror from rescuing Zelda back to the front of the castle.
And there's
some
flippers as
flippers.
well. Yeah, we got some options here to start things off. Unfortunately, one of those options is no longer hula hand, but there's other settings for it.
Now, gonna need a glove if they want to do one of the hula hand options. I won't turn down early flippers, though.
And there's the small key for escape.
I'm gonna be in one of either that chest or the Dark Cross chest, having to get into the back. And there's that mirror strat going to the start of the castle. Saves quite a bit of time.
Now, if you'll notice, they're gonna have no lamp going into this, but that's fine because standard gives us a free cone of light. Which allows the lamp to be a little bit later in the logic.
Yes, standard will give us the cone of light here and only here. Other dark rooms will remain dark.
Selling a couple ropes. Doesn't seem to be anything of note in their prize pool. Oh, but there are some bombs right there.
That's great. Now they don't have to hunt for those bombs off the rats. Getting those, and they can do those 3 chests in the back of Escape.
Indeed.
Quite convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. Very generous of the seed to give them that.
Yeah, see, the randomizer's not all bad. Not all the time.
Just some of the time.
Just most of the time. All right, quick check into the back of Escape. 3 chests here. Already have the key, so one of them is going to be the map.
Surprised you called that, actually. Because the map could have still been in the sanctuary chest.
As it came out of my mouth, I realized it could have been the tank chest, but thankfully, I was saved from embarrassment.
And there are bombs in the grab drops. Only single bombs, though.
And that's a sub-5 escape for Frostbite3030. BrewersFanJP hitting at about just 5 himself. That was really quick.
And 50 rubies in the final chest, giving them exact change for the bottle merchant when they head into Kakariko. And there's the map check. Red crystal up in Hera, green pendant at Eastern, and a blue crystal over at Desert.
Yeah, in a short dungeon, that green crystal is always tempting, but gonna have to find a bow before that becomes part of their plans.
Also, we may need the fire rod or the lamp for the logical entrance of that place, depending on where the big key is.
So, quarter heart up on the outside of Lost Woods, and a full heart in the drop spot of Lost Woods.
I mean, health in the early game is nice to collect. Not so much in the late game when you're pretty much comfortable at your health total. I'd be hitting him a few heart containers at the very least.
Yeah, I think the philosophy is generally you're going to run into a lot of hearts anyway, and you'll be forced a few heart pieces. Probably not a great idea to go out of your way for those quarter hearts you see.
Yeah. Heart pieces are nice if you can set up a refill, but given the nature of the chest, you can't exactly see what's in them. So it's really hard to set that up. There's a flute, though.
Kakariko flute and an early bottle, so this is a great early start to the seed.
It really is, yeah. And we got some more ammunition for a bow if we find it, and if you haven't seen version 31 before, bows are now progressive, so there are 2 of them out there somewhere to find. One will give us the bow that is normal functionality. The second bow will then be our silver arrow functionality. And there's the Blue Cane. Not really the ideal invincibility item, but it's a weapon against blind. That's all that matters to me. I think that's a note.
No, nothing of note just yet. Just a bunch of money. Just got that flute, which I believe Frostbite will be activating just as he gets that bottle vendor.
Yep, fast travel coming online now for Frostbite. Brewers opting to not turn on the flute just yet.
Now, yeah, that's interesting, because you think once you're done with Kakariko, you could flute out. He's going to have to come back there, sure, but it's right in front of you.
So something I personally like doing, I'm not sure if our runners are going to do it, I like using the flute when I get it early like this to go and check Desert Ledge and Egina right away, because those are otherwise some very out of the way checks, and when I'm done I can just loot to 7 and get on with the normal South Shore route.
Yeah, getting those early out of the way checks, just so you either get the item which you may otherwise leave for much later, or so you get some knowledge out of it. You know, that is a good call. And even Ice Cave on the other side of the map at 8, you know, it's always a quick spot to go to.
Alright, so they're pretty well set on bombs. I don't think either runner will be buying the 10 bomb pack in the Kakariko shop.
No, and having that sword, you know, bombs would be fine if they didn't have a sword and had to go to Mini Moldorm, but they got that assured sword.
And of course, they can always just cut some grass. There's a shield on library. No one's gonna pick up that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see that ever again. Cutting some grass for a single rupee. 10 bombs up on race game, so Frostbite gonna flute out of here.
Yeah, makes sense to me. And Frostbite is gonna head over to the South Shore route. This is standard fare. We'll see where Brewers goes. Brewers follows suit. So far we don't really have that much going for us.
No.
Never mind.
Well, so there's the first of 2 bows.
Yep. But the most important one all the same, because that gives us access to killing the Armos. Well, depending logic in the Eastern with the big key and the lamp.
Yeah, logically,
Oh!
you may end up needing that at the fire source.
That's pretty generous on the Hoarder Crabs, having 20 rupees. Won't be that hard to grind for Zora if we need it. And there's Bombos. Well, that's nice to see. That's really nice to see. Whoa, hold on. Oh
What?
my! That is a loaded mini Molder Cave.
That
Bombos,
was 4
hook
items.
shot, Master Sword, and the Ice Rod as well. I think we've had the new Hype Cave.
We have the one true hype cave here. So this just exploded on us. With that hook shot and, you know, the flute, we've got all of Eastern Death Mountain in logic. And with the mirror, we've got the Tower of Hera in logic, too.
We're also Darkhold Axis plus Titan Smiths away from Ice Palace. If Turtle Rock's required, we had the Ice Rod to defeat Trinex. This is shaping up to be a pretty fast seed, but of course, it's still fairly early. We're only 12 minutes in. Okay, so that's a lamp-locked cape.
We have the flute, so... Oh, actually, no, you're right. That is a lamp-locked cape, because that was a dark room.
Yeah, Old Man is considered a dark room. Because you have to go find him in the dark. Granted, it's not a difficult dark room to learn. But the logic is accompanies all levels of play.
Got a shovel on top of Spectacle Rock. So we can grab that by going to the Dark World, getting up the mirror. There's our second shield.
No one's going to be picking that up.
Not at all. And JP going the other way. JP going to head out to Paradox Cave instead of going up to Spectacle Rock.
I mean, either play is valid. Frostbite's going to focus on the dungeon over the items.
Now, there's a chance he may actually need a fire source for Hera if there is an item or the big key in the basement.
He might not need that, actually. We have a new legal trick. We'll see if Frostbite's going to be doing it as we see the other items here in Paradox Cave. Power glove. That's it. That's all I saw.
And that's all there was. So the big key
Yep.
is in the basement. And as you said, we do have a new trick. It's not going to stop Frostbite. He's going to pull off the Harapot trick. Use his hook shot to get into this pot and go 2 floors above where he is.
Yep. Actually, it takes him to the floor just above Moldorm. Or just below Moldorm, rather.
Just below. So he is, in not having that big key, he's not going to have access to the big chest. So there may be an item in there.
Well, he's got one of them there. So he might have to. So Frostbite might have to return later, or with the fire source, but he is going to get this dungeon cleared regardless.
We got a spiral cave check from Brewers. Just a couple of bombs.
Ooh, Moldorm wanted a little preemptive strike here this time around. Oh no, that's not good. Okay, getting a second poke. Should have recovered. Yeah, he recovered. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Very nice, Moldorm. Recovering very nicely there, preventing the enraged state. And unfortunately, the last item is in the big chest.
I'm going to have to come back here if it's an important item, but for now, it will have to be unknown.
You can also gather that the crystal is fire locked. So this dungeon, so whatever is on Pyramid Berry cannot be the lamp or the fire rod. Unless we already have the other one of the two, those two. There's a Dark World map check. Turtle Rock is the other 5-6, so that's a moot point regardless. And Thieves Town and Misery Mire are the other 2 pendants.
Always good to see something like Misery Mire be a pendant, because it's a chance you may not have to go there. But Thieves Town, there's always some gamble if you go deep into a pendant Thieves Town or not.
Yeah, it's not surprising to see someone check the first floor and then leave. We'll see if Brewers fan follows suits here with another Harapot of his own. And
Mirroring out?
chooses
No.
Well, we know there was nothing important on the sequence ring other than the crystal. And this is a relatively fast dungeon to come back to with the flute.
And depending on the layout of the rest of the seed, it's possible to save this for the end and mirror to and from the Dark World, so you're right outside of Ganon's Tower if this is your 7th crystal.
And yeah, also what I said about the fire rod or the lamp being a Pure Fairy is doubly true. Neither can be there because Turtle Rock technically requires both for completion.
Yes.
And there's the Titan's bits already. Wow.
Wow. Okay, so that opens up some Dark World access once we get that Moon Pearl.
Yeah, we don't have the Moon Pearl yet. Whatever it could be.
Well, we'll get the other check on Desert. We'll get the Ledge and Agina's Cave. No.
Oh, wait, no.
Yes.
Desert is in logic.
Yeah,
Who's gonna go in here and mirror and be on the back door of Desert?
Now, the front of it's in logic. It could always be boots locked, or it is definitely fire source locked if you want to get the landwalls.
Brewer's having to mirror. Oh, Brewer's at 1 HP. He's dodging the Dacto. Trying to get out of its aggro range.
So we didn't just yet get a check on Meyer.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Brewers takes a depth warp despite having the mirror just to refill his health. And we're now also seeing it from Frostbite. It is a boots locked desert, so we do need the boots to finish this dungeon. But we can still maybe get an item or two out of here if the small key is over here.
Yeah, could be a small key here, which still gives us a few checks. It is, so we can keep going a bit to the right.
It looks like we did see the medallion requirement for ether, or in the form of ether for Mr. Meyer.
So one of our 2 items, just a quarter piece of heart. And in the very back, our second item. So not much here in desert either.
And as I thought, Brewers is taking the death warp to refill his health.
That is a good call, instead of just walking around with that 1 heart. So he'll get out of here. We have not checked Nagina's cave. I suspect he'll be headed there first before he goes anywhere else. Maybe checkerboard.
Yeah, checkerboard to Agina is the more common play because it puts you in a spot where you can check both relatively quickly. Because Agina is just a quick jump down the cliffside. And still no luck, so it could very well be over in the eastern area. Now, something just crossed my mind as well. If we find the lamp early, not only is to put Hera back in logic for whatever items there, as we get 300 rupees, would also put Aga in play. And we have all the other pieces for the Aga puzzle, the Master Sword, as well as the cape.
Yeah, it's really a question of what shows up first, the Moon Pearl or the lamp.
Well, if I may be honest, it's probably the lamp. For all we know, the Moon Pearl could be vanilla, or it could be on the pyramid at this point. We don't know.
Don't know. We're running out of checks. We've got flippers, so we can do all of this area with Hobo, and then we've got Eastern. So there are still a few places we could find either one of those.
Yeah, good thing is though, as Chad is pointing out, they don't have to fake flipper in this seat. They can just use the regular flippers to take a look around and get all the flippers checks. Alright, so JP getting 10 arrows from our friendly Hobo. There's the Moon Pearl.
There it is. So now that's Dark World access through the Kakariko portal.
And
having
the
those Titans
boot's right
and
next
the
to it.
boot. Wow.
That is amazing. Gonna come up here and check Zor while Frostbite's in the area. Makes perfect sense.
Arrows on the ledge. So still not entirely out of Aga territory until we find the hammer. You never know where that hammer's going to be. We only have access to 1 portal right now.
No, Aga's dead. You need the hammer for Turtle Rock. The hammer can't be a pyramid fairy. And we have the flippers to get over to the east side of the Dark World. Just swimming through the Lake of Ill Omen.
Aha.
So, with the fact that we have a means to access all of Dark World, as well as no means for Aga to lock the hammer behind Pyramid Fairy, Aga's done. Aga 1 is not gonna be a thing this seed. Have they checked Lumberjack, though, actually?
No, neither one has checked Lumberjack.
Okay,
So
that would be the only
you never
way.
know.
That would be the only way
Yep.
that Agro could be in play, is if there's the required item there.
All right, so here we see two different spots where those Titan's Mids are going to come into play. One with Dark Death Mountain, and BrewersFanJP using that plus the boots to get Tempered Sword out of the King's Tomb.
Oh, as I see, and there's finally a shield. Unfortunately, it's going to be the fighter shield, which, in my opinion, is the weakest of the shields.
Yeah, it's kind of useless. You can block some arrows and some rocks, but not much more.
Yeah, but at least unlike the mirror shield, you can get rid of it. I still prefer the fire shield, though. I love the fireball protection.
Oh yeah, especially if you're going into like a low health blind.
Yeah, it's very helpful. Alright, here's the last potential thing. Did we find the fire rod on Frostbite's end? Nope, that's armor. We're not fighting Aga for armor, so
yeah, that's
Aga's
not
now
worth it.
truly dead.
So we got both the fire rod and the ice rod. So no big hunt for those later on, having to fight Trinex for a crystal.
And Balmos is the required medallion for Turtle Rock as well, so we have the medallion we need.
You know, we're just a cane of Samaria and a hammer away from TR access now. TR completion, I should say.
Actually, wait a minute. We're 2 items away from go mode. Took me a moment to realize it, but yeah, we're 2 items away from go mode. We just need the hammer and the cane.
Logically, we'd need the lamp, but, you know, what the heck is logic anyway?
Well, these runners most likely know their dark rooms.
Exactly.
And some dark rooms, like the Basin of Pod, are in logic with the fire rod.
Now, both of these guys are in Skullwoods. Frostbite, the only one here with the fire rod, having just found it. So he could clear this out, and BrewersFanJP is just going to be able to do the front of it.
Yeah, someone's also bringing it out in chat. With Meyer being a pendant, that takes out one of the harder lampless rooms in the game. Although I will say that Aga 1 is the hardest by far. Okay, that's 2 floors and pitfalls that you have to navigate. Thankfully, the fire rod can help with some of that, I think.
Yeah, dark ag rooms are not something you see quite a bit because by the time you're forced into Aga, you should have found the lamp anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely harder than any of the other dark rooms in this game.
So we found both items here in Skullwoods. I didn't make note of what they were, so...
I believe one was just 50 rupees. I did not catch the other one, though.
I think I saw a heart piece, so... It doesn't really matter. They weren't anything important.
No, they weren't the hammer, they weren't the cane, and they weren't the lamp, so we're still where we were. Now Frostbite getting into Mothula.
Kind of a tricky fight.
Bit low on magic. Got the Master Sword. So, not the ideal setup for him, but I don't think he'll have too much problem. He's got enough health.
So we have an interesting sort of like divergence here, as the runners are on the same sort of route as we find the Cane of Samaria. There it is. Brewers found the Tempered Sword in King's Tomb. Frostbite, however, has the Fire Rod. And that's over in Hookshot Cave. So it's hard to say who has the advantage right now. I'd say
Frostbite has 2 crystals, so, you know, he's a bit further along, but he may or may not, you know, head to, say, the Ice Rod Cave, where we found that tempered... No, where did we find that Tempered Sword?
King's Doom.
King's Doom, thank you. So, who knows?
Yeah. I'd say that, as I was getting to, the short term, I'd say Frostbite has advantage. The long term, I think Brewers has it because they'll have faster boss fights overall with the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, quite a bit of difference between fighting with the Tempered Sword versus the Master Sword.
It's really going to come down to when Brewers checks Fire Rod and where that hammer is. And as a reminder, we have not seen the Eastern area, and for all we know, the hammer could be in Hera, in that one item in the big chest.
Right, which we now have access to with the Fire Rod.
Correct.
Fire Rod actually puts all of Eastern in logical access to. No. I'm sorry. Take that back. It puts Armos in. It does not put the vanilla big key chest in logic.
Yeah, but as we were talking about dark rooms and skill levels, the Eastern dark rooms are probably one of the easiest to learn, at least the ones heading to the big key. So definitely in our runner's repertoire if they've come this far.
Oh, I gotta believe that any runner who made it in the top 128 of this tournament knows most of their dark rooms. Maybe Meyer, you know, is an iffy one, but they gotta know most of these dark rooms.
They happen to know both runners do have the shovel, so we'll see if any of them sharp that in. Brewers is doing the Smith chain, so we'll maybe turn that in. And Frostbite will not be leaving that King's Doom behind, so the combat advantage will be mitigated. So it really comes to whoever can find the hammer first.
Yeah, that hammer puts us in no mode, pretty much. So Brewer's taking the purple chest. Not going to be able to do the dig game now that he has a follower.
I think he already did the dig game, though.
Oh, I completely missed it.
Yeah, I didn't see what it was, but I don't think it was anything important. Yeah, it was 10 arrows, that's right.
So here's going to be a Stumpy and a shovel check.
Yeah, because both of them, at least... Brewers at least looked in the lobby of Hera. He did not go up, but he did also pick up... Oh, did he ignore the shovel?
Oh, no. Frostbite's the only one with the shovel. Brewers doesn't have the shovel.
Huh, I thought he picked it up, because he definitely went into Hera. So there's the Ether Medallion. So we could get into Misery Mire. And Frostbite does now have the Cane of Samaria. So either Brewers picked it up and doesn't remember he has it, or just completely forgot about it.
Right, I thought he had it, but it was not marked on our tracker. Since it occupies the same spot as the flute, we're not really going to know on a pause screen.
Yeah. Unless Brewers highlights the flute and we see that little Y symbol there. Which could be hard to catch.
Now, I'm hesitant to even qualify that as any semblance of a hype cave.
Yeah, that's definitely a dud-shaped hype cave.
Yeah, we've already seen our hype cave. That was a mini Moldorm in this seed.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
So we are going to get our Eastern play. BrewersFanJP is going to, looks like Pod first. Check that out. He could mirror right over to Eastern Palace.
We'll see Frostbite check the shovel at least. I don't think he's going to leave this behind if he's in the area. I think it's a Hasrala. Ah, almost got caught off there by Kiki. Kiki does not like invincibility frames. If you are trying to... You can actually walk past where Kiki spawns from the iframes of mirroring back to Dark World.
Yeah, he will flat out ignore you.
And JP almost missed that. He caught himself. JP is gonna look in pod for the bow, or not the bow, the hammer. It would be kind of crazy for the hammer to be here in pod, but there's only one item that is even hammer locked, and that's the boss itself. Alright, well, moment of truth coming up here for Frostbite.
Yeah, Frostbite may remember he has the shovel. You're right about the hammer being here. You know, there are 5 items. It's in here in vanilla. You could get a French vanilla hammer. But you get a butter sword.
Alright, here's the mirror check, and here comes the shovel. The shovel leads to the Book of Adora! Oh, that opens up 2 other spots where the hammer could be.
So doing this purple chest, this is going to lead Frostbite right to the Vamos tablet.
Wait.
He left it behind.
Oh, is he doing that other trick that's enabled? The invisible escalate?
I would guess so. I'm not sure exactly how to arm it and trigger it, but it looks like he's pretty confident in what he's doing.
Yeah, he did. He got the item from the purple chest.
Alright, so he gets his ether. He's going to check his tablet with the book that he just found. Still looking for that hammer.
If it's here, Brewers is in big trouble. No, but it's the lamp.
Well, I think we just got our full Meyer access.
We did. We also got our full Turtle Rock access as well. Well, no, strike that. We need the hammer to enter. I almost forgot.
Yep, still missing that hammer, but once we get it, TR, that's ours. I didn't see either one of these items that was in the pod basement.
I didn't see it either. According to our tracker, Link40, big key and money.
Yeah, shout out to our tracker. Keeping us honest, keeping us in line.
So the best place for the hammer to be, in my opinion right now, for brewers, at the very least, is in the big chest of Hera. That is a chest that Frostbite has left behind, isolated, and will very unlikely head back to unless it's his last location, or one of them.
I agree, because he knows he'll have to go back there. He only did the lobby of it and the first part of the basement, but getting that fire rod when he goes up to Dark Death Mountain, he could head right back over and finish it off. And then we'll see what that big chest is.
And if he hasn't got the shovel, he will most definitely pick it up. Probably something there. And we'll know if he's picked it up or not, because it should still be on Spectacle Rock when he goes to Hera. Because right now, he can't get into Hera any other way.
So nothing out of pod.
No.
JP is mirrored over to Eastern. He's going to do these checks and then likely do that dark room to get through the dark room to get to the vanilla big key and head back to Armos for his green pendant rather.
Big Key is in a place where the fire rod allows for the green pendant to be collected.
No, chat still holding out for an Agaseed. Aghanim is dead. We know that there is just armor in Lumberjack Cave, and we have Dark World access through and through, and we can't even get into a situation where something like Hammer is in Pyramid Ferry, because we'll need Hammer to get a 5/6 crystal off of Turtle Rock. So we'll find the Hammer eventually, and we do not have to do Aga to do it.
Yeah.
But could we get Hammer on Pyramid? Pedestal.
No. Because of key logic in Thieves Town. That's the only reason. Key logic assumes the worst case scenario for all key usage. So in the event that you use your keys poorly and you need to say the big chest has a small key, but you use one of the small keys to not go to the attic right away, the boss thus becomes hammer locked as a result, because you need the small key to break open the attic.
I think that's only true if the small key locks itself in the big chest. If we find small keys somewhere else, yes. Neither runner had went far enough back into Thieves Town for us to know.
Yeah. So in the worst case scenario, it could still be a hammerlock seed, but as is being pointed in the chat, if flying small key's not there in the big chest, then the dungeon maybe not be considered hammerlock, and it could be on pedestal. But it would still be very unlikely.
Yeah, there's still plenty of places.
In part because I don't think we saw the small key when we saw Brewers dip Palace or the Thieves Town. I don't remember where that small key was, if we ever got it.
Well, we got a cane, and we obviously got a big key, but I did not see if we got a small key from either runner. JP doing a really good job on Armos. Still got the red Armos, but took him down no problem. Picks up the green pendant to turn into Sahasrara just around the corner. So despite the quick start, getting a plethora of items at the beginning of this seed, it kind of slowed down about midway through this game. And one to another, one turn into another. You got the green pendant giving you a mushroom.
Yeah, we'll see where JP goes here.
Well, JP is going to do some of these one-off Dark World checks. So we got Pyramid, then he could very easily go Mushroom to the Catfish check.
Red boomerang on the pyramid. We're not picking that up.
But all those cool tricks with the Ancilla glitches.
Oh, you mean all those setups are fake livers in which we have real peppers? I will admit, those are pretty cool tricks, but I don't think we're going to be seeing them today.
No, not today. Splash deletion doesn't really work if you have flippers.
Alright, JP looks to be turning in the mushroom. Might also go to Catfish?
Yeah, I would suspect that Catfish... Well, okay. Yeah, he skipped the potion shop, and he's going to go right to Catfish.
Well, skipping the potion shop makes sense because we have the flute. We can just flute to 2 later after doing something like fake powder.
That's right, he could fake powder. He's got the mirror to get into Magic Bat, and then with this mushroom and cane, he could pull off fake powder.
Is this the hammer? Nope.
No, fluting back to 8. So having access to Misery Mire, I guess, is calling calling JP over this way.
I mean, we haven't seen any of the Mire shed checks.
That's right, not having the Moon Pearl when they first came over here. $50 and a quarter heart.
And with the boots is planning to finish desert. Makes sense.
Yeah, has boots.
No,
doesn't
what?
have fire source though.
No, that's right. Our fire source is up on the mountain or in the tablet.
Yes, Bamo's tablet has our lamp, and then the fire rod is up in Dark Death Mountain in Hookshot Cave.
One has to wonder if JP is just outright choosing to ignore the fetch quests. Looks like he's gonna do Magic Bat here.
Yeah, I think he's waiting to do Magic Bat to see if Fake Powder was anything before losing that mushroom.
Yeah. Just gonna fire off the Ice Rod.
Yeah, has to get rid of all of his magic first, then arm that Canis Samaria, and once you hear the noise, then you can use the mushroom and get cursed with something interesting.
Money.
Well, money. What a horrible curse, having money.
Yeah, look at that wallet. We already broke the normal limit of 999. Alright, here's the mushroom check. I wonder if doing all these will remind JP that the shovel is in his inventory.
Yeah, he still hasn't checked the shovel spot, despite having picked it up on Spectacle Rock. And we know that's the book. He can get the lamp off of Bamo's tablet. We haven't seen the ether tablet yet.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too much of a stretch. Brewers looks to be heading over to East F Mountain. Or I guess I should just call him JP. My mistake.
Okay, so both of these guys are going in and out of each other's paths right now. I think it's a good time to remind everyone watching this race to give both of these runners a follow. Frostbite3030 and JP, they've had a great series so far. They're putting on a great show for us tonight. And, you know, go follow them, watch them play. They're amazing.
Yeah, so JP will be getting the fire rod here shortly. Probably use it to get to Hera, and if the big chest has the hammer, that is the huge advantage suddenly.
You're talking about the big chest in Hera.
Yes.
So, yeah, if he wants to do that, he's going to have to go all the way back around the mountain to do it. But yes, that would be huge advantage because Frostbite abandoned that check early on, haven't done the Hera pot, not picking up the big key.
He doesn't actually have to go all the way around. You can go halfway across the bridge where the Lionels are and then mirror, and he's behind the pegs.
Indeed, yes.
Gonna check the Turtle Rock Medallion, which we know is Bombos.
So now equipped with the fire source, gonna check out Hera. I'm really interested to see what this big key is, because that turns this game on its head.
Indeed.
Frostbite heading into Mire.
Let's see which way works out. Will it be the Hera Big Chest, or will it be the two items in Mire?
Tenant Mire maybe a bit of a gamble. You do also have Ice Palace mostly open, but the only thing you're blocked by is the hammer necessary to go to Cold Stare.
And actually, we've had access to Ice Palace for a good while. The hammer could just be in there.
Exactly.
It's gonna be really interesting when that hammer shows up, where it's gonna be. So JP will have one chest here that we don't know what is inside. And if it's hammer, JP is in go mode, and while he has no crystals to his name right now, he's in the driver's seat. He's in go mode.
Yep. Absolutely. Just has to be comfortable with all his dark rooms and not having to do Mire. If this is the hammer,
it's a red potion. So Frostbite dodged the bullet and doesn't even know it. But now we had to ask the question.
And that question is?
Where the heck is this hammer at? I have no idea.
Well, JP's not going to have the book to check the ether tablet after he leaves this. After he leaves Tower of Hera. If he did pick up that book, having picked it up in the shovel spot, could see if the hammer was there. There's still the possibility of hammer being on pedestal.
Yeah, it's a slim chance, but I can feel the knowledge all the same. And yeah, there's the shovel, so he knows he has it. And I think he just remembered he hasn't checked it.
Yeah, those flashes are telling you that he missed it when he was over there last time.
And he's going to feel really bad when he pulls the book out, because he was right there and could have checked ether tablet.
So he'll maybe go check Momo's tablet first, heading down to the south.
And as a development here in Misery Mire, ether is not in Misery Mire. It was a heart piece and 3 bombs.
Hammer.
Or hammer, yeah.
You're also correct. Ether was not there.
Ether was required, yeah. But regardless, Misery Mire does not have the hammer we are seeking.
So we're running into kind of a really small pool of places it could be. We've got Ether Tablet, we have Ice Palace, we have Pedestal. We have the first chest in Swamp Palace too.
I think Brewers is thinking Juice Woods, Mirror, and Check Pad.
That's a good call.
And Frostbite is now heading up the mountain to check the Ether Tablet, as well as the chest in Hera that he has missed.
Yeah, he knows he hasn't done that. So he's probably thinking, man, what if it was that hammer? But we'll get an Ether Tablet check here. Just arrows. So we got an Ice Palace play.
Yeah, Frostbite's gonna check Ice Palace. Let's see if JP will check Pedestal for us. If it's on Pedestal, I have probably seen every sort of rare occurrence in this first week of races.
Oh, I've seen some very, very crazy things in this first week as well. And at this point, Hammer Ped after all this would not surprise me.
I mean, I've seen Hammer Pyramid Fairy. Actually, no. Hammer locked behind Pyramid Fairy. I've seen a whole bunch of other stuff. As we see a bottle here on Frostbite's end, I would not be surprised if this was hammer fed. I would not be surprised.
So he's got his mirror. He's going to go back to the light world, check out the pedestal. So get your ped check hype in chat. Let's see if it's the hammer today.
Nope, it's our container.
Our container. So,
I was hopeful. I was somewhat hopeful, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be there.
All right, so we're looking at a couple of things. We're looking at Ether Tablet. We're looking at Ice Palace or the first chest in Swamp Palace. None of those are very good to go to. Oh, I'm sorry, Ether Tablet was checked. Yes, that was just the arrows that Frostbite picked up.
And it's not in desert. We know it's not in pod. Have we seen Bumper Cave yet?
I'm thinking here, and I gotta believe we have. Chat and our tracker pointing out that it was a heart.
Alright, so not there. So yeah, it has to be dungeon. It's either here in Ice or it's in Thieves Town. I think that's our only options, other than the one and only chest left in Swamp.
That's right, I did forget about the back of Thieves Town. So there's another option.
There it is!
Ooh, it is an ice. Okay, so at 1 hour and 36 seconds, Frostbite3030 is in go mode.
What a spot for the hammer to be at, too. In the big chest of ice.
Yeah, going into Ice Palace without a hammer doesn't feel good because you could wind up empty and having to go back there. But the gamble worked out for Frostbite.
The scene kind of telegraphed us to go to ice, though, if you think about it. We got a very early Bombos, a very early Flippers, and we got a very early Titusmans and the Moon Pearl. It gave us everything to go into ice early.
Yeah, in hindsight, it was almost screaming ice. So Frostbite bullying Cold Stare into the corner with that gold sword and takes all three out at once, picking up a small key. But now he has his third crystal.
And Ice Palace was considered Samaria locked. Because we had a small key on the boss.
No problem for him, though.
No problem at all.
JP about to pick up his lamp off the Bombos tablet. And pulling out the mirror, heading towards the Swamp Palace, he's going to drain this little pond and head into Swamp, see if the hammer's in there. Unfortunately, he's not going to find it.
Yeah. And to our runner's credit, despite the scene screaming ice, you don't really want to dip ice with the hammer, so to avoid it for so long is perfectly understandable.
Oh, absolutely. Swamp or ice, you know, either one. You can't get all the way to the end. You can't get very far in Swamp without hammer anyway, so either one, again, was a bad choice, and it just kind of worked out that it was nice.
Yeah, for those who missed it earlier, this was a Surge Sword standard mode race, so we already have done the escape sequence. And it's just a big key here in Swamp, something we don't need. So hopefully JP heads into ice from here. Is footing away. What is the call, JP?
Oh, he's going to go into Mire.
Which we know has nothing. Which is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but again, to go back to your point that going to Ice Palace without the hammer doesn't feel good, It's very risky. At least you could clear out the rest of Meyer.
Yeah. And really, both our runners have pretty much checked what each other has checked. There hasn't been any sort of major diversions that the runners haven't already compensated for at this point.
No, the checks really haven't, at this point, been too much different. It's just the order in which they were checked, right? Frostbite got his fire rod much earlier than JP, and got the book, which led him to Lantern, which, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter that much, but the big thing was going to get that hammer.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Ice having the hammer is not the most ideal thing, as we see. And there's the Quake Medallion on Helmsley King. And thinking about it, if the hammer ended up being the Hera Big Chest, that wouldn't have been that much of an advantage for JP, now that I think about it. Because Frostbite has been still doing dungeons at that time. So, the time he saved on clearing dungeons would have been mitigated not entirely by the hammer, but by a certain significant amount. So it would be a very much a tighter race.
So that's true to a point until he doesn't find it, and then has a eureka moment that he left it behind in the Hera Big Chest.
Yeah, but I was comparing the two back to when the two runners got the Hera Big Chest.
True.
And it was only roughly maybe a 5-minute to 10-minute difference. So it wouldn't have been enough to swing the race, but definitely brought it much closer if it was there. But we know it's not. It's over in Ice Palace.
It's over in the Ice Palace Big Chest, and having finished Misery Mire, Frostbite mirrors right over to Desert Palace, picks up his key off of the torch, and is headed back to Landmalus.
Yeah, after this, going to Swamp Palace, and then onwards and upwards to Death Mountain to fight Trinex, Agatu, and last but not least, Ganon himself.
So JP about to hit his cutscene chest. And gonna find a second item here. It is not going to be the hammer. After that, I think he's kind of narrowed it down to ice.
Yeah, I don't think JP has anything left.
Here's crystal number 5 for Frostbite3030. Pulls out his flute. Gonna head first to Swamp Palace and take care of Argus.
Yep, just a quick
Second
walk
item
through
out
that
of Mire.
dungeon.
Yeah, go mode swamp. Much less painful than having a full clear swamp.
JP is going to end up going after the Lambolas as well. And given it's only 2 crystals when there's so much more that could have been claimed, probably feels behind on the crystal count, so probably abandoning the hunt for the hammer for at least for a little bit to clean up the dungeon that he has left.
Yeah, this will allow him to make some progress, and he has no idea if Frostbite is also still hunting for that hammer.
Yeah, that is the nature of these races. Well, the runners are blind to each other, unlike a normal race. JP heading back into desert, forgetting to get the big key.
Oh no.
It's not that big a deal. Just as to bonk the torch and mirror.
No, that's true. It is just a quick couple of screens and a mirror away, but it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, choosing to take a death warp instead to get his health back. But being 2 dungeons to Frostbite soon to be 6, the race is pretty much already set in stone here.
Well, not over till it's over, but
Indeed.
Frostbite definitely has a big lead here on JP, which is not at all indicative of, JP's ability. If you had seen any of these 2 races between these 2 prior, it's amazing what these guys can do.
Indeed. Alright, the Lambos are now down for JP. Frostbite still checking chests, probably hoping to find the silvers along the way. Probably doesn't need him at this point with the gold sword, but they wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, the gold sword, it's not so bad. You could also be checking for some mail. Ganon on green mail hits so hard.
Yeah. Highest source of content damage in the game, second only to the chain chomps, or not even second only, close second is the chain chomps rather. As I think the chain chomps do like 8 hearts.
Yeah, chain chomps, I believe, do 8 hearts on green mail.
And
Frostbite
wow, I
pulling
have
out
never
the
seen
ice
an
rod.
ice rod quick kill like that. That is amazing.
Yeah, that was really quick for Frostbite to get a quick Argus kill. And picks up his 6th crystal, only a turtle rock away from getting it again into tower. JP still searching for that hammer and is going into the back of Thieves Town looking for it.
Yeah, unfortunately JP will not be finding the hammer here. It will end up being most likely a last location for him. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get randoed. And if there's anything that is a rando, it's hammer in Ice Palace. It's very unlikely for a runner to go there that early.
Yeah, I don't blame JP at all for what he's doing. I'd probably be in the same boat if I was racing. Thankfully, the group stage is not an elimination until all is said and done. So he could still come back and take part in our bracket stage later on.
Oh, absolutely.
Because this is the first match of the bracket of the mini bracket that they are in. There is a loser's bracket to fall into for JP, so we'll at least have a means to come back.
Yeah, the group stage is being double elimination with best of 3 series. Guarantees you, some amount of races, so it's not a one and done by any means. We have not seen the last of either of these runners, and you could see for sure both of them in the brackets later. All right, JP headed to the back of Thieves Town. Frostbite into Turtle Rock now, picks up his powder.
Yeah, powder is a great find here. It's a nice safety to have. Definitely going into the Ganon fight. Or at least up the tower. It's also a nice safety here in Turtle Rock because there's plenty of anti-fairies to powder to get heals along the way.
Yeah, that'll be definitely help from here on out. JP picks up his pendant. That is the second of 3 pendants. Still only has 3 crystals here and looking for that hammer. Not much left to go except for the Ice Palace play.
And here comes the Ice Palace play, as you mentioned. Pretty much has nothing left. And there's the Chain Chomp's taking a bite out of Frostbite.
Taking a Frostbite, perhaps?
Shaking my head right now.
I figured you'd be. Now I didn't pick up. Did Frostbite pick up the big key here in Turtle Rock?
I do not believe so. No. The 2 small chests were small keys. I think this is the big key right here. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think he would have gone to the lava chest if he hadn't already picked up that big key. So there it is.
Yeah, it's such a shame when the hammer is one of the items that literally unlocks half of the bosses to fight. Or feels like half of them.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you're gonna need. You'll run into it eventually, but there's still quite a lot of places where they can be. Still not as bad as trying to find the ice rod.
Yeah, no, the ice rod is by far the worst offender. The seed was kind to us though. Gave it to us relatively early.
Yeah, both those rods were pretty early. Hammer was in Ice Palace Big Chest, so JP is headed that way. I don't recall where the big key was, but he is about to pick up that.
Big key right now.
Yeah, he's going to pick up his hammer here, and from there on out, he will be in go mode.
I'm expecting a few raised lashes here. Nope, just gonna keep going.
Yeah, don't waste the time.
Yeah. So JP is now in go mode. And we do have a small key on Laser Bridge. It's not on the first chest. Not on the second. It's in the fourth.
in the fourth, and he pulled off all of those laser skips really well.
Yeah, only getting tagged once. So Frostbite has the powder equipped. He's gonna go over to this anti-fairy, just turn it into a fairy. Get a nice recovery before the Trinex fight. And JP's now on the board with the 4th crystal here. But it is, unfortunately, I think too little too late, as Frostbite's on his way to Ganon.
Well, he's got to fight this three-headed turtle snake first, but yeah, as soon as he's done with that, we can start a little game. Don't get your guesses in just yet, but get ready to guess a number between 1 and 22.
That's right, we won't have much time to get guesses, and we don't actually have our bot working that we usually have for tournaments. So the game is only going to be for fun. And there's one last little payday to round things out. So with that 7th crystal, it is now time to enter Ganon's tower, in which there are 22 chests in the basement that we can search for the big key. Only one chest can have it, though. So give us a number in chat. Tell us where you think it's going to be. Limongo, where do you think it's going to be?
Today, I'm going to pick 7, just because I like that number.
I'm going to say it's late. I'm going to say it's behind Ice Armos. This feels like a seed that really wants to drag you on if you didn't find that hammer right away.
Alright, last minute guesses in chat, because once he enters, the game is locked in.
Frostbite's going to start with the Hope Room. Three bombs and 20 rupees.
Okay, so gonna have to mirror out. No small key to continue going right. We'll head to the left.
Torch counts just as a visual check. So that's item number 3 already off our list. 4, 5, and 6, and 7 coming up here. In a room we have a couple names for. Stalfos room, Dark Magician room.
Those are the two I'm most familiar with.
Yeah, whichever one you want to call it. It's these 4. 4 is the small key. 5 is arrows. 6 is a small key. 7 is 3 bombs.
Well, I've lost.
I could make a joke, but it's too easy. 8 is some armor, that's good to see.
JP took down Helmasaur, finds the Quick Medallion, and gets his next crystal off of Palace of Darkness.
Chest number 9 coming up here in the Fire Snake room. Another small key, the third one. 9, 10, 11, 12 coming up here in what we call the Randomizer room. Because in vanilla play, this room has nothing but refills.
I'm sure when I was playing this back in the day, I went into this room for the refills.
And there's the big key. In chest number 12, I had to recount for a moment. And first person to guess 12.
Looks like Captain MD13 was the first one to guess 12. Wait, no, I'm sorry. That's way too far in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't think we
No
got
one
an
actually
official
guessed 12.
The closest person to guess, who was the first person to guess, or the closest rather, was the one Arizona with 13, and Big J was on the other side. Oh no, actually no, that was me. Clone JS with 11. My mistake. Almost got it
So
backwards.
Clone JS, congratulations. Price is Right rules got you a win today.
And we're going first come first serve. It would be, which I go by, it would be that Azrael with 13. So both of them technically won because they were the two closest.
Congratulations. You don't win anything, but congratulations.
Alright, Gauntlet started now for Frostbite. Tried to snipe the style post. It walked down, unfortunately. Now it's time for 3 blue Sazaks. They actually cooperated a little bit.
Yep, bunching up in the corner allowed him to get 2 pretty quickly. And then a quick dash through these red Zazaks.
Nice snipe on the style post.
Got that one. He's tearing through this gauntlet.
Oh yeah. No sign of the silvers though. The big key chest in the swamp have the 3rd bottle. And those are my favorite rooms because you get to do stuff like that.
Yeah, these are fun rooms to watch done very cleanly. This one especially.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That is slightly harder than it looks. You have to get the timing just right.
Oh yeah, it's a very small window to get that timing.
Alright. Frostbite is on to the upper floor. This floor is significant because it's the last 4 items in Ganon's tower. We'll see if he checks any of these chests for silver arrows. I don't think he will.
Well, he skipped those 2. The next 2 are right in front of him, so there's a chance, but I'm sure he'll be just fine with the butter sword and regular arrows.
Yeah, gonna powder this anti-fairy. Gonna lift up this pot. And now it's time for Moldorm 2. Moldorm 1 was almost an issue for Frostbite. He had to get 2 pokes and 2 slashes with the Master Sword, but Moldorm 2 goes out relatively quickly, as does Argus for JP. And the silvers were not in Moldorm's chest.
Nope, just a compass. So that puts JP 1 crystal left to get into Ganon's tower. He's going to head up the mountain to Turtle Rock, but Frostbite already up to the top of the tower to face Aghanim.
That's right, and actually, because we've already seen the last 2 items in Thieves Town, we know they're not the silver arrows, and we know what Mr. Meyer has. It's either the last item in ice, because we only got the 2 items, which was, I think, the bottle at the start and a hammer.
You know, we also didn't see what was behind some of the hammer checks.
Yeah.
There's Spike Cave and hammer pegs as well.
So it could be Dark World. So we'll see what Ganon tells us where our silvers are.
Aced his agonometry test.
I'm gonna say they're in Ganon's tower, to be fair. It's the most item. It's probably the richest location left. I think Frostbite took every chest in Turtle Rock as well. So
he took every chest except 1 from Laser Bridge. I think number 3 on Laser Bridge.
So let's go see what Ganon has in store for us today. Ganon tried to imitate one of the Hungry Gorillas in Zelda 1. Not gonna work here, unfortunately. Only gonna be 6 slashes for the first 2 phases here. This will be an easy 1-on-1. Dodging the fire bats now. Trident's gone, so now Ganon will teleport around the room. 1 slash will get him pretty angry, and he'll drop the floor down. And after after 4 hits of this, it'll be into the darkness peak. Keep the torches lit, hence the lamp being equipped. And because we don't have the silver arrows yet, it'll be 12 spin attacks or slashes. Spin attacks are more consistent. As Ganon teleports away with the lights on.
Yeah, he is warping around
with the lights off.
everywhere. He's just warping around left and right. Just hold still for those last 2.
Dark World.
So the arrows in the Dark World.
So you may see when Ganon lifts his arms up very briefly, that's about the window that you have to land a silverless hit on him. Spins, of course, give you so much of an attack window that it's very likely that you will connect. And yeah, that's only really 1 of 2 locations. Now that I think about it, Hammer Pigs or Spike Cage has to have the silvers.
I believe so. Checked most of the rest of the overworld.
Well, if there's Ganon going down. Get a teeth in the chat for Frostbite3030, who has won this series against JP here. And we'll be moving on to the winner's bracket of his group. JP, of course, not out yet. We'll move down to the loser's bracket to keep going. And that is now time for Frostbite3030 finishing in first place with a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 25 seconds.
GG to Frostbite. So he's going to go on to the next round of the group stage, of course. We'll try and get him in for an interview. JP still going through Turtle Rock.
Alright, so Frostbite will be joining us shortly. JP, gonna see things through here, as we are now joined by Frostbite. GG's to you, sir.
GG Frostbite.
Thanks, guys. GG's to JP. That was another one of our fun seeds that we got to have. Yeah. I don't know. What can I say? I knew when I found the hammer that it was probably over, that I was going to win. I was very concerned that if the hammer wasn't in Ice Palace, I'd made a very time-sinking play. But looking at what I had available still at that point in time, it was the big chest in Tower of Hera, which I skipped, and I would have to have gone through the basement to get the key, which I was never going to do. That was going to be the absolute last spot I checked. And then I had the back of Thieves Town, which I figured if it was there, it was a much more I would be going very late there. I didn't really like that as a spot. And then I had the pedestal, which I guess theoretically could have had the hammer, but in watching JP go through Thieves Town after I finished, that small key location basically made it impossible for the hammer to be on the pedestal or on blind. So I'm happy when I was in Misery Mire, I had a moment after I found the second item of all right, do I spend the time and go kill Vitreous, or do I just leave now and hope I don't have to come back here? And I decided it's not that bad to go back into Mire. If it's stupid and on the pedestal, I'll feel fine about doubling that. So I just decided, heck with it. Let's go into Ice Palace. And when I found it, I was like, okay, you got this. Just play safe. Don't die. Don't do anything stupid. And yeah, pretty happy with the run. It's unfortunate for JP, but I totally get the avoiding Ice Palace without the hammer. It's a really, really bad play, and I was fortunate.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about this. Of course, you mentioned the big chest in Hera, it did only have a potion, but we were wondering for a while if that was going to be the hammer location. Going into Ice Palace without the hammer was actually a big gamble on your part because it's a crystal, and if it wasn't there, you were going to have to double dip. Fortunately for you, that's where it was.
Yeah, and to kind of extend that a little bit, the seed pretty much gave you everything you wanted to go into Ice Palace without the hammer from the beginning.
Yeah.
The flippers, the Titan's Mitts, the Moon Pearl, Almost Medallion.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even feel like... I think I had the Fire Rod pretty early because I went and got it out of Hookshot Cave as my first play after finding the myths. So I was thinking about Ice Palace, and I mean, people that know me know that I go to Ice Palace. It's one of the things I do. So I think about Ice Palace from the start of the seed because basically, in my experience, a lot of people avoid Ice Palace a lot, and if there is something there and you go early, it can be sort of much more beneficial than getting other items out of other dungeons early because people avoid it so long. But yeah, I just didn't really have any good options at that point. I mean, I had the back at Thieves Town, I had the pedestal, I had the big chest in Tower of Hera, and I'm not sure. I had the first chest in Swamp Palace, which was an even dumber proposition. I mean, I almost checked it because I mean, I was hammer go mode at like 30 minutes, right? Like I was only looking for the hammer, and as I was running past the front of Swamp Palace, I was thinking, do I just go in here now? Because if it's here and I don't go in there now, it is absolutely. I mean, it would have been the second last location I went to because Hera Big Chest would have been the last location, but it would have been there, and I just decided this is, you know, it's game 3. I can't spend 3 minutes making that check when I still had Hype Cave, and I was super suspicious of Pod because we got that bow really early, and the lamp was sort of sitting there, not really in the way, but I found it before I went to Pod, so I was very confident, frankly, that the hammer was just going to be in Pod, but it wasn't, and then, yeah, I just decided to just go with Ice and say to heck with it. I don't know, it was super... Sorry, yeah. How about Escape? Like, it was the best escape I've ever had. It was really fun.
You had a sub-5 escape.
Yeah, Mini Motorcade was amazing too. What was it?
Yeah.
What, 4 great items there?
Yeah, I know. It's like funny. I was like, oh, what? You couldn't give me the 5th? Because I think it was a heart piece in the 5th chest too. I was like, what? You couldn't go 5 for 5 anymore, then? Okay, come on. But no, obviously that was incredible. I mean, I got lucky too. Like I went and picked the myth out of Ice Rod Cave, which isn't necessarily something I would always do, but I figured I wanted to avoid skipping something early and just screwing myself, which is. You know, I tend to do that, but that tends to be sort of in bigger races where I'm trying to get first rather than a 1v1 where I'm, you know, not like I'm obviously trying to get first in a 1v1 as well, but I'm not trying to skip half the game while I do it. I'm trying to sort of more do it as efficiently as possible. And I think a couple things. I feel like I got the Fire Rod before Skull Woods, which meant I didn't double dip that, which would have been very possible in this seed. And then that sort of routed into that North Dark World checks. And then, well, that was the other thing I wanted to mention. I completely forgot about the Lumberjack Ledge. And like, as I was halfway through Eastern Palace, I was just kind of scanning my map to see what I wanted to do next. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to be on the Lumberjack Ledge, and, you know, JP could have seen it from, like, in this seed, like, 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the seed. But thankfully it wasn't there. I was really happy there. It took me, I saw the mail up there, and I couldn't quite even figure out what it was. It's rare that I have to go down into the water to actually pick the item, but I was so confused by what the bottom pixels of the shape was, I had to check it again. But no, I played really well, and sort of, you know, it was a really fun seed. We had all kinds of items early, all kinds of options, and really, it was the hammer was the only bad seed. This could have been a silly fast seed if the hammer had been free as well. But it's unfortunate. JP and I had some atrocious seeds in this round in the first 2, so. I mean, from my perspective, this one was the best one, and it had hammer and Ice Palace, so I guess that says something about it. But no, I'm super happy with my play, and looking forward to facing Walter the Fourth. I know you're in chat there calling you out, friend.
So, yeah, other thing that was nowhere this seed here is something that you probably weren't aware of. JP actually checked the bases of Hera first, and if the hammer was there, this race would have been a lot closer based on when you checked it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I figured, I'm not sure if he does the hair pot trick or not. I figured, you know, because I don't believe in randomness, we got our mitts and our hammer in Tower of Hera in our last race, or our glove and our hammer, and they had to be 2 separate trips. You couldn't get them both in the same trip. And I was just like, there's no way that it's going to be in Tower of Hera again. And obviously that's totally insane, but I just didn't really want to go back there. It was going to be like a 4-minute check for one chest, and I was willing. If it was there, I would have shook his hand virtually and said, good game, I made the choice and lost. But I'm going up into Hera in that situation every single time. I'm not isolating it and leaving it. I mean, I guess in one respect I isolated the big chest, but I mean, Hammer wouldn't have even been that bad to be in there. I feel like I still, you know, it would have been obviously bad for me in this race, but you know, at least it would have been something like, you know, the medallion or something. Hammer blocks off quite a bit. Although Hammer is nasty because you can get into all these terrible dungeons and not complete them, like Pod and Ice and Swamp, so it is what it is. But no, it was a fun seed. It'd be nice if I could find the silvers, you know, once in a while. Never seems to ever happen, although my silver list is getting a lot better because of that. I also had this sort of cross seed thing because I did a practice seed, you know, not right before, but I finished it probably 20 minutes before. And I had it in my mind that I had a blue potion as I was going up Ganon's tower, and then I looked and I saw that I had a fairy. And I was just thinking, I'm really glad that I didn't run out of magic at any point in the second half of this game, because I would have been screwed because I didn't have the potion that I thought I had. So that makes one argument against doing practice seeds right before you play. But no, I'm super happy with how I played this game. Obviously, the result I don't think indicates our competitiveness based on the first 2 races. You just got really unlucky and last located the hammer in a truly awful location.
Yeah, we were talking about that because I was fortunate enough to see the first race you had, which was incredibly close and kind of wild. The second race I didn't get to see, but I had you know, seen clips and heard about it.
Yeah, it was
again,
pretty wild.
Both of you guys, both of you guys are excellent runners. Chat, be sure to give these guys a follow because we're going to see more of them in the tournament. As mentioned, Frostbite is going to go on and take on Walther the Fourth. Any thoughts about what's in store for you in the next round?
It's going to be tough. Walter's a really good runner. I hope to win, obviously, because the fewer races I play, I feel like I could keep this luck streak I've had going from the qualifiers on out. But I feel like it's going to be a super close series again, and hopefully I'm victorious. And hopefully, all I ask for is that I don't have any more seeds where I go to Ganon's tower and can't beat the game. But no, it's going to be good. All the runners who made it are really good, and you know, obviously, I feel you know, execution isn't always exactly the same. But if you make the wrong choices and someone makes the right choices, anyone can beat anyone. And I think Walter and I are fairly comparable in execution, and it should be a really fun match to watch.
Indeed. Well, GG's to you, Frostbite. You said quite a bit about this race. Any final thoughts before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening?
Nope. Maybe if anyone wants to play a mystery race, I'll probably be pinging one in the Discord in a little bit. And thanks to Wolflink and Lumaga for the call. And just again, GG's to JP. Unfortunate this race had to sort of turn out the way it did after how close to Austin the first were 2, but that's rando. And yeah, looking forward to the next match and the rest of the tournament.
All right. We'll see you hopefully next week against Walter the Fourth.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. I'm Pop out.
And to extend that a little bit, folks, as we see JP about to climb them up to the last floors here of Ganon's Tower, he will be falling down into the losers bracket of Group G here, and we will be fighting Cadenza in the losers bracket going forward in the tournament as well. So let's see JP here. He's certainly finishing strong here. He probably knows he's lost by now.
Well, he's going to give us these 2 checks. We know they're not going to be the silvers. Ganon mentioning they're somewhere in the Dark World. But yeah, he's going to finish out here in the next few minutes. You can see a little bit of frustration on his end. Just a couple of mistakes, you know, that he has made up on the climb to Ganon's Tower. I'm sure he also felt very behind for most of this. and you can just kind of see, he's just kind of taking a little bit more conservatively here now that there's no pressure.
Yeah. But I will always commend someone who chooses to finish what they start here in the randomizer.
Oh, absolutely. Rather than take a forfeit, just finish strong, finish out the seed.
Hmm.
JP's stream seems to be having a little bit of issue.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. He is also onto his Ganon fight here. Pretty much the same equipment set. He found that blue male in Ganon's tower, and he's got his butter sword. No silvers, though.
Yeah. Alright, so phase 1 going through here, phase 2 coming up.
I always love seeing these dash poke strats.
Alright, that's enough pits. You can use the hook shot for some invincibility, and now it's time for teleporting ground stomp phase.
Four turns of this, and then he'll be on to the next phase.
Getting the lamp ready. Oh, did he get the torch?
no.
It fell!
Oh! He couldn't get too close to the torch because the bat was right in the way, and then he kind of overcompensated, fell off the edge.
Yeah, he got tagged by the bat, which reversed his controls for during the hit stun. And I think Brewers is gonna go find those silvers, or at least pick up a potion or two just to have some safety. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna choose to get safeties.
Yeah, without half magic, you're going to have to hit that torch glitch, and you're going to have to really manage your magic.
That's why. No, he jumped out intentionally. That's what he did, because he didn't have the magic to do the fight with the torch glitch.
Oh, that would make sense.
Completely forgot that magic is kind of an issue when you're doing silverless Ganon.
Alright, here's round 2.
So, as something we haven't mentioned about the Ganon fight is the teleports and for phase 3 are seeded. So the runners will get the same pattern for fairness, but in the event of a fall or a death, Ganon will cycle to another set of random teleports. So this one's not as palatable as the first one looks like.
Yeah, it's a bit like fighting blind. You will get the same pattern every time, unless you have to fight her a second time, rather. Pulls off the torch glitch this time.
Yeah, so 11 more hits and we'll be done. Misses that hit.
Gets 3 off of that one torch.
Yeah, that is an optimal little cycle on a silverless fight. Couldn't quite get it set up, had to dodge. But there goes Ganon. Ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs in the chat for BrewersFanJP. Finishing strong. Looking like a contender should here in the tournament. And he is finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 34 seconds. And BrewersFanJP has declined an interview. So I guess we'll just give our final thoughts about the seed before we wrap things up. So the seed was kind of bad with the whole hammer placement. It was an interesting seed, but having that one item in a not ideal place is not really great.
No, but we were searching for that one item for our go mode since the first 25 minutes. And that was a really quick start to the seed, but then it dried up as they were both looking in different places for that hammer, ultimately finding it in the Ice Palace big chest.
Yeah, and this seed could have gone so many different directions if the hammer was in this spot or that spot. And we've gone over it several times. If it was in the big chest of Hera, it would have been a heck of a close race. If the silvers were in play, maybe that would have helped JP as well. But what's done is done, really. But JP will not be out of the tournament just yet. Again, this is a double elimination group stage. So he will be moving down to fight Cadenza in the loser's bracket. Frostbite, again, will be moving on to fight Walter IV in the winner's bracket.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good races still left. We're only in the first week of this tournament. There's plenty of randomizer to go among these runners and overall. That'll do it for us tonight as far as the races go. This is the last one of the evening.
Yeah, the next race on the schedule is for you early birds out there because it's at 4:30 in the morning over on Speed Gaming Original. It is going to be Gem versus Rune or Runes Prism. I don't know how to pronounce that name. And it's going to be a double header for Game 2 and Game 3 if necessary. For anyone who's not exactly able to get up in that early, there's also going to be a race on Speed Gaming 2, a couple of them, starting at 7:30. And for anyone who wants to catch an afternoon race, the earliest one on the schedule is going to be on Speed Gaming 4 at 3:20 p.m.
Yeah, and then plenty of races all through the afternoon and the evening, all through Sunday. So be sure to check some of them out. Give all these runners a follow. It's been great working with you, Wolflink, and so thank you for the great commentary. And also shout out to our tracker, LinkForce0, for doing a great job keeping us on task.
Indeed. And also thanks to you, Lumaga, for sharing the mic booth with me here tonight. All right, we're going to wrap things up here, folks. So from all of us here at A Link to the Past Randomizer 2019 tournament, I have been Wolflink0370. Make sure to also follow Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 236. I almost forgot to mention that. So you don't miss any racing action, not just Link to the Past Randomizer. And some of these races will be featured on our side streams with A Link to the Past Randomizer and A Link to the Past Randomizer 5 as well. But we'll have to be all said and done, folks. I've been Wolflink0370, and from all of us here, we shall see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, all.